Greetings again, family. How y'all doing? I hope everybody's good. I decided I wanted to leave a couple of pieces of advice or some counsel to the youth out there in terms of templates and using as an analysis to figure out your situation and how you may want to plot your course in the future, because things may or may not be getting critical in this country, and I believe more critically. So what I want to deal with is the question of power. And I have some things written down. It's very simple. I kept it simple on purpose, so don't email me or write things on here about, oh, but there's other aspects of it. I'm keeping it simple so you can teach this to your children and teach it to yourself. Okay? The first thing I'm going to deal with is definition of power, and then what I call my formula for power. Okay? And like I said, I wrote some of these things down. The reason for that is so you can look at it later on, analyze it, and see if it can fit into your life to help you out. Okay? The first one, definition of power, is basically the ability to express your will or intent and have an effect. The ability to express your will and intent to have an effect. My formula is thus. Pay close attention. I'm going to break down each one of them and to make you understand how it works. Identity and ownership of real estate. First one. Identity and ownership of real estate. Plus the ability to exploit natural resources, or the ability to exploit resources. Plus organization. And summed up equals power. Let me go through that again, right? I'll say it slowly, and like I said, you can go back and watch the video again. Identity plus ownership of real estate, plus the ability to exploit or utilize resources, plus organization equals power. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a couple of examples of what I mean, and I'll explain each one piece by piece to understand how you should take this particular template. Like I said, it's not the answer to all things. Take this template, look at your situation, and understand where it is in that formula that you're lacking to understand if you have this lack of power on a micro scale and a macro scale. Okay? So these are like 4 examples. The first one is a human. The second one is a business. The third one is a building. And the last one is a nation. And I broke it down like this. For a human being, let's look at once again the formula. The formula being the first thing, identity. A human being's DNA lets the cells understand what it is building to be, and that is a human. So all of the information is downloaded into that DNA to let the cells know what you are about to do. It identifies you are human, and as a result of a human, you have blood, tissue, bones, muscle, organs, and so forth and so on. The next thing, it needs material to build. It needs resources in order to utilize, which is usually dealing with your blood, your bones, your tissues, and so forth. The next thing that it needs is some form of ability to utilize those resources. And this is what comes in with this is the math and science of the human body, which is very intricate, in letting each part know its role in what makes up the human body. And then finally, it is organized. Once it utilizes this resources of flesh, blood, and bones, it is organized through the organs. And the body that does this the best has more power to express his or her will or intent. Even a machine, if you want to take it for a machine. For a business, its identity is its business plan. The business plan tells exactly what that business is going to be about, so no wasted energy is going anywhere else, right? And then obviously business material, whether you need staplers, a desk, an organizer. These are all the materials that you're going to have to use in that business once you've identified what that business is about. And then it needs an administration team to organize. Now, once you know what the business is about, you have the materials, you need something to organize it. Right? An administrative team, right? And that administrative team then allows it, the one that does this the best, understands what it is, has the resources, understands its organization. Whatever business does this the best, most of the time is successful. Okay? Let's take a building. A building first starts off with a blueprint. That blueprint works like the DNA, works like the business plan, letting everything of what's going to be entailed in that building be known to the engineers and the architects that are going to be dealing with. The next thing you need to utilize the resources, right? Whether it be cement or all these other things that are necessary to build that particular building, to create the pipes, to create the sanitation system, and so forth and so on. In order for these things to occur, there needs to be a management and maintenance to organize these facets of the building for that building to then start moving and growing and doing what is necessary for that building to be built, right? So the same plan is going for the human, for the business plan, for the building. Now even take it to a nation, right? A nation, the first thing a nation needs is it needs a constitution. That constitution allows to make that nation understand what it's going to be about. It then serves as a blueprint. It serves as a business plan. It serves as the DNA for that nation. Once you have that constitution, the next thing you're going to need is some land and the ability to utilize this land using, pay attention to this, black folks, math and science. Math and science, crucial, right? Math and science. And then once it has that ability or that knowledge of math and science, now it needs to organize this in the form of a government. The nation that does this the best can then exhibit power on others. So, as I said, the nation that can do this can exhibit the greatest power or their will upon others. As I said, in this particular formula, if there's a component or an area of this formula that is not taken care of, then you will not have power. You can take this in a relationship, if your relationship, whether it be with your family or girlfriend or boyfriend, if you haven't identified what your role is within that particular relationship, that is the answer to understanding why you may not have power or equal power with that particular partner, right? Some people do this consciously, some people do this unconsciously. And the same thing can go for an ethnic group. Let's take black people, for instance. Some blacks want to be called Moors. Some blacks want to be called, I'm a Republican. All of these things and names and constructs that they have, as a result, the rest of the things can't come into place because that identity therefore gives you the platform how to utilize the other things. So when you have all these names, and I'm not saying the names can't be there, but there must be a clear construct, an umbrella identification as to who you are. Okay? And it is easy to just use the Africans, and Africans do it all the time. My mother and my father, my mother's family is from South Carolina, my father's family is from Ghana. Now, they are Africans from the continent, they are Ghanaians. Within that structure, they are the Adungbi people of Ghana. They are the Joshi clan. In the Joshi clan, they are the Nikwe Olai, right? So you have several different subcategories in there, but they're still Africans. So, as I said before, understanding this particular formula, whatever your situation may be, if you figure out what you don't have within this formula, you'll figure out why you're not exhibiting this power or why you are. Like I said, this is just a template to help you out. For those that might be confused, whether it be at your job, whether it be at home, whether it be at your team, right? Just plug in those things to this particular template and figure out what is missing within this for me to exemplify my power. Okay, I hope this helped you out. Okay, this is, once again, this is just my attempt to work with the youth that I worked with in the past and to help you navigate through this madness that's going on in this world. Thank you for your time and patience, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.